From the buyers, they have like much risk, but so like the buyers are not really demanding something different. Their own, right? Their own consumers. So it's not such a high risk. Their own consumers are pretty happy, are pretty loyal, and they already have like retail shops and consultants, and they do as well. They adapt as well. Okay, their strategy depending on the country or the market that they work. Nonetheless, there is like one aspect that can be pretty risky, and that's the one of the substitute. Can you read?
Substitute other non-organic products, homemade products, and that's high.
Yeah, so people are, you see that all the time. I see that all the time on Facebook or Instagram. The pages that is like, oh, this is like the cream that the big industries don't want you to know. I am a 40-year-old homemade or like housewife, and I created that with this and that. And it's homemade, and it's organic. And that could be an alternative of going to body shop that is actually pricey in a way, correct? That would be a substitute, and that's why it's becoming like a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. And other non-organic products. Now it's like much more common. Body Shop was a pioneer, right? In the 90s and the 2000s. But now we have like many more alternatives. On the suppliers, it's not much as a problem, right? So actually, it's not such a big community of suppliers. And rivalry. Can you read that one?
Okay, rivalry is a mature market, long-established companies, and then what's that?
Niche
players and moderate.
So that's the competence, that's the competitors that they already have. It's moderate, it's neither low or high, okay? So, why? Because Body Shop has been in the market for how many years? I'm not sure. 2 decades at least.
Yeah, about
2,
20,
3, right? Yeah, quite a lot of time. So that would be an example of how to analyze your company's status at this moment, together with the SWOT analysis, okay? Together with a hostess cultural dimensions, together with other type of leaderships that we are going to apply. All of these are tools. There is not a magic only key that's gonna make you successful, okay? But be smart and use these tools. All right, guys. So cross-cultural literacy refers to the study of the impact of cultural differences, okay, on business practices. So what does a cross-cultural organizational environment include? Please read for me.
Just a list?
Yes.
Hiring local nationals when possible, conducting internal cross-cultural training, creating cross-cultural teams, promoting cross-cultural assignments and leadership positions, developing strategic alliances with cross-cultural organizations, raising the visibility of cross-cultural stakeholders such as customers, governance bodies, and subcontractors.
Okay. Here you are a link as well. We're talking about the competitive advantage as well. Okay. And this is kind of important as well, what type of approach of leadership you are going to get. All right, it's much more like the directive, the supportive, charismatic. All right, so the concept of like transformational leadership behavior, okay, is continuing. It's like evolving and being very, how can I say, involved with communication, with teamwork, and with a long perspective. Okay, something that is evolving. Look, so we have here different categories. I like this one, this chart. Okay. Transformational, that's the ideal. Not all the companies are like that, but that would be an ideal to work towards that. Working towards the long term, having less supervision. Everybody is like much more involved. It's a teamwork, okay? The managers are not just managers, are leaders. Members of a team can be leaders as well. So if we go into that, please, can you? I need to do that. This is a chart. There is no black or white. Okay? Companies are not only transactional in every single aspect and transformational in every single aspect. Okay? Ideally, in this evolving, much more globalized and world, companies are tending to go towards this aspect, towards this in all these categories. Okay? So one could be, for instance, if we talk about time frame, all right? Time frame, transformational, long-term orientation. I'm thinking about South Korea. Again, long-term orientation is very transformational in that aspect. But maybe not so much on the supervision. Okay? It's changing. I'm saying it's evolving, but still a traditional South Korean company. The structure of the companies are still very vertical. It's not horizontal. Okay, horizontal, like more teams and less supervisors, right? So that would be an example. A typical South Korean company where we have on the time frame, yes, it's long-term, transformational. But on this aspect of the supervision, it is still very important. Change occurs. We were thinking about, if you think about Hofstede's cultural dimensions, check this out. Let's see if we have. Like the fear for change, how well you are adapting, okay, to norms or lack of norms or changes, okay. So basically, that can be as well useful for you when analyzing a company, okay. Where is the company status or where are we going towards? And something that might be working on your headquarters, that you are more over this, you are like short-term in America, relatively certain, relatively less important the supervision. You don't need so much supervisors to do your own work. They value more your initiative as well, while in other countries don't, right? When you are transforming or working on South Korea, you might want to change your perspective. All right, can you pause, please? So let me finish with this theory, and let's see if we can do work on this. Okay, I think we are more than ready to complete a perfect discussion. What is the difference according to Kotter? Okay, this is one of the favorites of my students so far. He differentiates management approach versus leadership, okay, process. Could you please read?
Management is a process of handling complexity, a result of the emergence of large organizations. In the absence of sound management, the organization becomes unruly and disordered. Companies manage complexity by planning and budgeting. In other words, by setting goals and objectives. Management achieves these goals and objectives by organizing responsibilities and staffing. Management ensures that the specified goals and objectives are achieved through effective control, problem solving, and monitoring.
Okay, so in few words, you handle difficulties, challenges, approaches. How are you going to approach that, and how are you going to you set a goal and you have some objectives and you are going to reach that goal and solve all those challenges that you may have. Okay, that would be like typical management perspective process. While leadership, it's less tangible at first. It's less specific. It's more about the strategy, the direction. Leadership is related to the, not necessarily about, hey, we have one objective, we have one goal, and we are going to solve it. Okay, it's like, what is the philosophy of this company? What is the strategy? How are we going to go through? So it's like, as I was saying, less tangible, but very, very, very important. And according to Kotler and many others, it's like, do what I say. No, how is it? Not what I do. It's like, do what I say and what I do. I'm going to lead by example, right? Look, leadership is concerned with setting a strategic direction. It's developing a vision. What is the mission? What is the vision of the company? So you formulate the strategies to bring about the changes required to achieve the vision. So aligns people, creates coalitions, so motivates, inspires. So a leader should be an inspiring person, motivator who deals with the personal, okay, with people, with the staff, with teams. It's about the change, and here it's about a concrete, okay? This is like less tangible, but extremely important for a company to work with. So look at that, transformational leadership. What is that? That would be here. See? Categories, transformational company, we got all that, how we are going to achieve that. We've got to develop a strategy, the vision. We have to communicate it effectively. Model, that's what I was saying, okay? If we have that, we are doing this way, and we are going to exemplify that you can see that. Build commitment as well. That creates community and a sense of integration within the company. So when you believe that you are an important member of the company, you work better, you work harder, you work more hours.
Less company turnover.
Yes. And look, when I was working, if I'm thinking about the company I was working at, the German company, it was like a typical transformational leadership approach company. Very innovative and very horizontal, okay, organization, and they really made you believe that you could change things, and it was like that. Even somebody like I just started after my MBA, was my second job there. Few months after I finished my MBA, I was working. Okay, after the summer, I was working in this company. 6 months later, I was promoted. A year later, I was promoted again, and I changed 3 times of the departments. Okay, I was able, just a new young girl, okay, with not so much years of experience in the sector, I had the chance to be heard. And actually a project that I proposed, it took place at the end. It was like a project of internal communications between different departments. Since I was working in different departments and I saw what it was working, what was not going on, I proposed that, and of course the IT and the managers of the department, they finished up the project and they continued. But that is the vision of the company. The company is like, you are important. We want to listen to you. Your voice makes sense. So I was happy working there. I didn't mind if I had to work 3 hours longer, sometimes in a high season of strawberries. And at the same time, the company, because it was valuing the workers, they were offering a lot of education. I was studying Italian. I took a lot of courses with managers. So it was like a real transformational type of leadership. In fact, read for me. What is transformational leadership?
Transformational leadership is a leadership style where leaders and followers engage each other and rise to new levels of motivation, morality, and performance. Transformational leaders offer a purpose that transcends short-term goals and focuses on higher order intrinsic needs. Under transformational leadership, the purpose of leaders and followers, which start out separate, become fused. Transformational leaders help followers grow and develop into leaders by responding to their individual needs, empowering them, and aligning individual goals and objectives with the larger organization.
Okay, this is actually the point I was telling you. Okay, we had like your individual goals, the department goals, and the company goals. So at the end of the year, you could have like an extra, like a bonus. Okay, if you have reached your individual goals, you were going to have like more vacation or more money. So it went like that. Okay, so as a new employee that I was, a young new employee, I had the chance as well to be a leader in a way. And this is like a very important concept that for us nowadays is not that crazy, right? But think about that Kotler and these theories like in the 80s or in the 70s or nowadays in Bolivia, these ideas, are totally something new, something that they are not used to do. Where supervision, you have a lot of supervisors. It's like to talk to your boss, your voice. You are not going to know actually who is your boss. Maybe from the picture. You are not going to have a coffee with your boss. With the leaders, not going to have like I don't know. We have weekends with the company, with San Lucar company. We had one weekend a year in which like different departments, and they did that on purpose, okay? You could choose who were you in the cabin that you are going to be with, but they had like different like teams and contests and where you were with the boss or the super mega leader, okay? So that differentiation between leader, supervise, employee, like employer, employee doesn't have a voice. It's not anymore. According to Kotler, he is really empowering this transformational type of leadership as well.